Okay. So let us start with the acceleration analysis. So coming to a basic introduction on this. So you have seen the velocity analysis in the last few classes. Okay. So velocity of a moving body is nothing but a vector quantity that will have a magnitude and direction. So always you have seen for that a magnitude will be given and then the direction is there. Okay. So a change in the velocity requires any of the following conditions to be fulfilled. Either you should have a change in the magnitude only, a change in the direction only, or a change in both magnitude and direction. So you have seen all types of cases. Okay. Then now the next acceleration part is nothing but the coming from velocity only. So the rate of change of velocity with respect to time is known as acceleration, and it acts in the direction of change in velocity. So you know that first you get the displacement, differentiate the displacement, you get the with respect to time you get velocity. So that is v is nothing but dx by dt, and now if you differentiate velocity, what you get? dv by dt. So this dv by dt or d square x by dt square is nothing but the acceleration component. Okay. So thus acceleration is nothing but a vector quantity, and to find linear acceleration of a point on a link, its linear velocity is required to found, that should be found first here, and similarly you should find the acceleration, that is the angular acceleration of a link. Okay, its angular velocity has to be found, and after finding the acceleration it is easy to find the inertia forces acting on various parts of the machine or a mechanism. Okay, so now what is the change here that you should understand? Velocity, how you are taken velocity, you got two types of velocity, right? One is your linear velocity and one is angular velocity. So in velocity you have seen the linear velocity is given by v, right? And angular velocity you have seen by omega. Okay, so v what linear, this linear velocity you take in meter per second, and angular velocity you measure it in the form of radians per second. Okay, right? So now the acceleration, same way you get acceleration now. So acceleration, we have normal acceleration. For that the linear acceleration can be given by, okay, so in this we are taken in the form of f. Okay, so this will be in meter per second square. So acceleration, what is the change now? Meter per second square, because it is dv by dt, differentiate with respect to time, so you get meter per second square. Next, this omega will be replaced by alpha, that is angular acceleration. So this is angular velocity, now this is alpha becomes angular acceleration, it will be radians per second square. So remember this linear velocity, this becomes linear acceleration now, and then angular velocity, then that can be again taken as angular acceleration. Okay, so that we'll see now. So acceleration, so in this figure you can see, let a link OA of length r, that is this nothing but radius, this r is nothing but here radius. Okay, O to A is the radius, and let us take a length r and rotate in a circular path in the clockwise direction as shown in this figure. Okay, so you can see the vector is shown here. So it is has an instantaneous angular velocity omega. So you can see here omega, and same way, in the same way we get the angular acceleration also, that is given by alpha. Okay, so omega and alpha, that is omega is angular velocity and alpha is angular acceleration. Okay, so both having the same direction, you can see it is in both are in clockwise direction. Okay, now this is the initial position, right? This is the OA, and now this is the vector, that is the velocity for this. VA is the velocity this because you get perpendicular to this. Okay, now this is the initial path. Now if you move from OA, now this will move from O to A dash. Okay, at this point O to A dash, what will be getting? A change in the angular velocity, because the angle is moved by del theta, so it becomes omega plus alpha del t, omega plus alpha del t. Okay, and then component for this angle del theta, it will be a component for this VA dash, you getting VA dash. So this will be now two components. If you are having the two components, that is VA dash cos del theta and VA dash sin del theta, two components here. Okay, that is shown in this figure. So same thing we can see here. So tangential velocity of A, that is VA. So for this, what will be getting VA? So from the last few classes you have seen, velocity is nothing but angular velocity multiplied by the length, that is nothing but radius here. So it is r multiplied by the angular velocity, so it is omega into r. So VA equal to omega into r. Okay, then in a short interval of time del t, let OA assume the new position OA dash, so it is moved from OA to OA dash by rotating a small angle del theta. Okay, then angular velocity of OA dash, what will be that? So that is nothing but omega A dash, so that is omega plus alpha del t. So this is the new thing, added part from O to A dash. So the angular velocity of this one will be omega plus alpha del t. So same way, if you want to get now tangential velocity of point A, that is this point. Okay, so VA dash, now VA dash becomes omega plus alpha del t. Now this is the new angular velocity, what you are getting, multiplied by the length. So length is same, r is the same thing, that is not going to change because the length is same. OA or OA dash, their length is same, so multiplied by r. So omega plus alpha del t into r. Okay, then the tangential velocity of A dash may be considered to have two components, that is one perpendicular to OA and the other parallel to OA. So that we'll see how two components are there. Okay, so first case, we see the change of velocity perpendicular to OA. Okay, so first we see the perpendicular part. So velocity of A perpendicular to OA, that is which we have seen in this figure now, velocity of A perpendicular to OA. So this part VA. Okay, so that is nothing but VA. Okay, and velocity of A dash perpendicular to OA, that is VA dash cos del theta. Okay, VA dash cos del theta, that is this component. Then therefore change of velocity will be difference of this. So VA dash cos del theta minus VA, and now the change of velocity is this one. So acceleration of A perpendicular to OA now, so that will be with respect to differentiating of this with respect to time. Okay, so omega plus alpha del t, that we are substituting into r, the same thing what we got here, the same thing we are substituting VA dash and VA. Okay, so VA dash is this one, omega plus alpha del t r cos del theta minus omega r divided by del t, because it is acceleration component. Then in the limit as del t tends to 0, cos del theta is again equal to 1, and therefore acceleration of A perpendicular to OA becomes alpha into r, and this alpha is nothing but, just now we discussed, it is nothing but angular acceleration, that is coming from angular velocity. So that is the differentiation of omega, right? So it is d omega by dt, alpha is d omega by dt. So d omega by dt into r, and this is nothing but omega into r is nothing but what? Is nothing but the velocity. So it becomes dv by dt. Okay, so this rate of change of velocity in tangential direction of the motion of A relative to O and thus is known as the tangential acceleration of A relative to O, and this is denoted by FTAO. Okay, so remember this, if T is denoted there in the subscript, that is known as the tangential component. Okay, so Ft with AO, that is can be nothing but tangential acceleration. So tangential means always it will be perpendicular. Okay, so there will be two directions now in the acceleration. Okay, that I am telling you. Perpendicular is for the change, you can see perpendicular. So this is nothing but tangential acceleration. So tangential acceleration always will be perpendicular. Okay, next we'll see parallel one. So change of velocity parallel to OA now. Okay, so velocity of A parallel to OA. So what was OA here? Parallel to OA, not there. So it is 0. Okay, so OA is 0 for parallel. Then velocity of A dash parallel to OA. Now this is having some change because it is moved here. Okay, so for this, what is the change? It is sin del theta. Okay, so VA dash sin del theta, this component. Okay, so therefore the change of velocity VA dash sin del theta minus 0. So here it is nothing but 0. So omega plus alpha del t, substitute the value of VA dash. So into R sin del theta divided by del t. So del t tends to 0, sin del theta equal to theta. So we take the, as del theta is very small, we consider sin del theta as del theta only. So acceleration of A parallel to OA now becomes omega R d theta by dt. Okay, so this is nothing but the change in the angular velocity. Okay, that is nothing but omega, angular velocity omega. So it becomes omega into R. So omega square R. Okay, and you know that V is equal to omega R. So you can write it in the form of V square by R. Okay, so you can write in terms of V square by R. So this represents the rate of change of velocity along OA, the direction being from A towards O or towards the center of rotation. This is known as the centripetal or the radial acceleration. Okay, and this is denoted by Fc for the length AO. Okay, so this is denoted by Fc. Ft was denoted by tangential acceleration. Okay, and this Fc is the centripetal acceleration. So one is tangential and one is centripetal. So tangential always will be perpendicular, centripetal always will be parallel. Okay, so these two things you have to remember. For problem, this is not actually required for your understanding. This is not the derivation and all. Just I am explaining you for understanding how you are taken perpendicular and why you are taken parallel. When you solve the problems, okay, that time you will understand. Okay, so two components, one is perpendicular, one is parallel. So tangential and centripetal. Okay, remember these things. And also the symbol, this is Fc, this is given by the centripetal acceleration. Okay, now let us see the diagram, how to take the diagrams for this. Okay, so when alpha equal to 0, that is angular acceleration. Okay, alpha means angular acceleration. So that is 0. What happens? That is OA rotates with uniform angular velocity. Means in this condition, you have to remember this condition. Okay, so when alpha is 0 means that is OA rotates with uniform angular velocity. Okay, uniform angular velocity means alpha is nothing but 0. Okay, so in that case what will get? The tangential component will be 0. Okay, if alpha is 0 means the tangential component Ft also will be 0. So these are the cases. Okay, and then only the centrifugal acceleration will be considered. So at that time only the centripetal acceleration will be representing the total acceleration. Okay, then second one, when omega is 0, means when the angular velocity is 0, in that case A has a relative motion, that in that case the centrifugal acceleration part will be equal to 0, and then it will have only the tangential acceleration as the total acceleration. Okay. Then the third case, when alpha is negative or the link OA decelerates, then the tangential acceleration will be negative or its direction will be shown as in the figure which is there, this that will be seeing now. Okay. So the total acceleration vectors are denoted by the small letters with the subscript as 1 here attached. Okay. And then the meeting point of its components may be denoted by any of the small letters used for the total acceleration with a subscript of the other. Okay. So for example, the components of total acceleration now can be drawn by two ways, you can see now. So if you want to draw from O to A, that was with respect to link only, we are seeing with respect to link. For this figure, if you are taking from O to A now, how to take O1 to A1, that only we are seeing. So for normal velocity we have taken small o and then small a. Okay. So now for acceleration we take it as number 1. We add one more 1 to that subscript. So it is not O1 now. So initial point O1, and if you want to draw from O1 to A1, you have to use two components. One is the tangential, one other as the acceleration. You can see here. So if you want to get O1 to A1, you have to take first tangential component here, tangential component, so that is FTAO, so tangential component. Then OA to A1, this is the centripetal component. Okay, so this will be perpendicular part and this will be the parallel part. So and always the tangential and centripetal will be perpendicular to each other. Okay, and when you get this now, the resultant can be drawn using this straight line, and then you will be getting one vector O1 to A1. So to get O1 to A1, you have to take from O1 to OA and OA to A1. Okay, you can see in this figure. Then similarly, if the direction is like this, O1 to A1, again tangential component, and then A0 to A1. So again resultant can be taken from O1 to A1. So this is the centripetal and this is the resultant. This is the resultant. So you have to move two components. One is tangential and one is centripetal. Okay. So these are the different cases what you have seen. So let us take one problem and then I will explain this. I will not take the problem and solve. Just I am explaining how to solve this acceleration diagram. Just I am telling you the procedure. So just go through this. Okay. So here I have taken on 4-bar mechanism. You can see AB, then CD. This is a 4-bar mechanism where BFC, this one is a forming a ternary link. Okay. So this is entirely one link, and in this case alpha is nothing but the angular acceleration that is given in the clockwise direction. You can see here clockwise, and also the omega you can see that is also in clockwise direction. So this is angular velocity and this is angular acceleration on the link AB. Okay, and the space diagram will be going like this: A to B, then BAF, you can draw it, and then C to D. Okay, so using this, first you need to draw the velocity diagram. So you know how to draw the velocity diagram. Okay, so for that, how to take the velocity diagram? So AB is the length of this link, and you draw always perpendicular to that. Okay, so like that, if you take what will be the perpendicular to this? A to B, it will be nothing but perpendicular to this. In this direction, we will be getting, right? This is clockwise. So that only we had taken here. So it is from A to B, right? I am not going with the dimensions and all. Just I am explaining about the concept here. You can see A to B perpendicular you are drawn for the velocity. Then B to C here, so perpendicular to this is the perpendicular direction, so I am moving in the same direction, B to C. Okay, and C to D is over here, so perpendicular to this, and it can start from the same point, so I can take this. If this is known and these two are unknown, you can take a straight line and then intersection point will be getting as point C. Okay, and other things you can draw it. You can locate point F using the points B and C and that dimension, and from here you can join to the initial point and get this F and then complete this also. And if F dash is one more point, you can use that also, and if you want to get E point, you can mark the point E and then complete this velocity diagram. Okay, so this is the normal procedure. Next, we have to study now about the acceleration part. Okay, so what is the change in the acceleration that you need to understand here? So just see carefully. So the initial point, if you want to take, it will be A1. So instead of A, you have to take A1. So I will take one initial point like this. Okay, and then the first component you need to understand how the acceleration diagram has to be taken. So suppose I want now to get the point C. Okay, so C relative with respect to A. So it becomes from C to B and then B to A. So to draw this diagram, first I should take one table. I want to create the table, because to get all these components becomes very difficult. So for that we have a table method. So let us see how to take that. So for that I want to get first the vector part, so that becomes very easy to solve this. So acceleration of C relative to A. If you want to get acceleration of C relative to A, in that case it is nothing but acceleration of C relative to B plus acceleration of B relative to A. So if you want to get C to A, you have to come from C to B and then back to B to A, right? So say that is nothing but in the form of vector C relative to A, you get acceleration of C relative to B plus acceleration of B relative to A. So it is nothing but FCA equal to FCB plus FBA. Okay, and C and A are nothing, this A point and D point are nothing but same. So C we can D, A we can replace by D. So let us take CD. So FCD is nothing but FBA plus FCB. Okay, so this can be written in the form of acceleration now, that is D1 C1 is equal to A1 B1 plus B1 C1. So this is for the equation for the acceleration part. It is similar to the velocity only. Okay, so now in this case each of this acceleration may have no centripetal and tangential component. So each component will have two components, one is centripetal and one is tangential. So that will rightly type this. So you can see FCD will split into two components. So FCD with FCCD, then FTCD. This is centripetal and this is tangential. See the symbol here, C and T. Okay, one is centripetal and another is tangential. Okay, same way for FBA now. So for FBA again centripetal one and then one tangential. This is again centripetal and then one tangential. Same way for FCB now, this component we are taken two parts. One is centripetal and then tangential. Okay, so one same thing you have to get two parts. One is centripetal and tangential. So this D1 C1 becomes now D1 CD plus CD C1. So if you want to get D1 to C1, I have to take one more CD. So D1 to CD and then CD to C1. Okay, now I want from A1 to B1. So getting the resultant for this, I have to take A1 BA then plus BA B1. Then I will get the resultant B1. Okay, A1 B1. Then similarly for this also, if I want to get B1 C1, I have to take B1 CB plus CB C1. Always two things. Okay, so that is nothing but if you want to get one direction like this, suppose I want to get D1 to C1 only. So if this is the D1, and to get C1, I have to first take CD and then take a perpendicular to this also. So I get again this one CD to, I get C1, and then this is the resultant. So this resultant I will get D1 to C1. So to get D1 C1, I have to take two components. This is one for the centripetal part and one for the tangential part. Okay, so always you have to remember this two components. Same way with respect to all. Okay, so get A1 to B1. So you have to take A1 to BA and then BA to B1. So to get this all, first we have to calculate these parameters in the table now. So set the following vector table for this. Okay, so what I will do, first I will take the components. So I will take first the RHS side. Okay, so first we take the FCBA, that is the centripetal for this BA. This one we are taking first. Okay, so what is the centripetal for BA? It is nothing but A1 to BA. The vector you have to write like this. And what is the magnitude? So just now I showed you, whenever you have to get the centripetal part, you have to use the formula, that is AB square, that is the length, whatever the vector velocity you have drawn, that velocity square divided by the length of the link AB. Okay, so that was nothing but AB square by AB, means this is the velocity. AB what you got is nothing but velocity, right? This becomes V square by R, same thing what you have taken, V square by R, that formula. So the length of this R nothing but AB. Okay, and this velocity you have measured by AB, so that AB square. So you get AB square by AB. So AB is, this is for velocity. This is the velocity component. This is for the length what you have taken, length for the link AB. And the centripetal part you have to always take parallel. So you have to draw parallel to AB. Okay, and the sense should be with respect to capital A. Then FTBA, this is the tangential component. So tangential component BA to B1, this you have to use with respect to angular acceleration. Same way what you have taken there for the tangential part, it is alpha into AB. So angular acceleration multiplied by length of the link AB. So this tangential always you have to take perpendicular to AB. Okay, or it is nothing but perpendicular to the link AB, or it is nothing but parallel to the velocity diagram drawn for this AB. Okay, it is nothing but same thing. Okay, if you take parallel to the velocity part, is nothing but perpendicular only, because when you take velocity you take perpendicular only. Okay, so the same thing for this, you can use perpendicular to AB. So this is with respect to small b direction. Then let us take the next one. See this one, centripetal again, VFCB. So FCB for this, it is B1CB. Then again same formula, V square by R. So BC square by capital BC. This should be parallel to BC. Okay, direction from sense should be from B. Then next tangential with CB, FTCB, this will be CBC1. Okay, and this will not be given in the question, so it will be unknown. So to write just given dash, because only input, if alpha only is given in the question for the input thing, these things you have to find out. So it will be like not be given. So it will be nothing but alpha into this CB only, but you don't know the value, so we'll keep it as blank one. Okay, then this should be perpendicular to BC, and you don't know this. Okay, and next we come to the LHS side, so CD part. So FCD for centripetal component, it is a D1CD. So this becomes a DC square by capital DC. So this will it will be parallel to DC, and from the D sense the sense. And the last one, FCD tangential part, not this one. Again the angular acceleration part of this. So it will be nothing but alpha into CD, but not given. So this you have to take perpendicular to DC or D1 CD. Okay, so like this you have to first draw the table. Now using this table you have to construct the velocity diagram. Okay, then it becomes very easy. So how they are taken? First you have to take the values here, that everything value will be noted down, and from that value you have to take this values, that is centripetal and then tangential. So how they have done, I will tell you. You can see A1 starting point, then they have taken A1 to CD, right? A1 to CD, this one, then CD to C1, and then they got the resultant, that is A1 to C1. So if you want to get A1 C1, you have to move from A1 to CD and then CD to C1 like this. Okay, if you want from A1 to B1 like this, you will not get directly. So you have to take from there A to FCBA, this one, and then you have to take BA to B1. Then you get this resultant. So get A1, you want to get A1 to B1, you have to take FCBA, then FTBA. One centripetal and then one tangential. Okay. Similarly, for the last component, if you want to get from last one, that is this B1 C1. Okay, so B1 CB and then CB to C1. Then you get the resultant B1 C1. Okay, so for each component, you will be getting 3 lines. Okay, and like this, you can complete the acceleration diagram. Okay, so this is next part for the taking the ternary link. So if you want to get F1 at this point, so you have to use this. Okay, so not discuss this about in this problem only. So when you solve the problem, that time you will understand. Okay, so this is the method how to draw the acceleration diagram. So this procedure is given here. So A1, all this you have to start from A1 or D1 and then complete in this format. Okay, so just case and all I will not discuss here. When the problem starts, that time I will discuss. Okay, so now for taking the acceleration of the intermediate or offset points, you can take this ratios. Okay, like B1 BE by BC becomes B1 E1 by B1 C1. How you are taken for velocity, same way. If offset points are given, that time you can use this acceleration vectors and then take these points. Okay, so this I'll discuss when you start with the problems only. Okay, and this is for the slider crank. Same way we are taken for the slider crank. So this I'll explain when we use solve the problem on slider crank. Okay, so we'll take the same problem what you have drawn in the velocity analysis. So this same problem we are drawn, right, for the velocity analysis. So I am giving you the same dimension. You draw the space diagram once again in the next class and keep this ready so that we can solve the problem, the same problem once again, and even you can draw the velocity diagram again and keep it. Okay, so the velocity diagram will be same what you have drawn previously, because this is the same problem what I have taken. Only the extra part of what I have taken is the, you have one more acceleration component here, that is retardation they are given here. So this is the extra term what I have taken, and just calculation of angular acceleration and a linear acceleration. Instead of velocity I have taken directly acceleration component. Okay, so you can draw this diagram and keep it ready for the next class, and then you can draw the velocity diagram for this. So it is same what you drawn before. So same problem once again you draw it and keep this velocity diagram ready so that we can do the acceleration part in the next class. Okay, so keep this problem ready, same problem what we did in the last class, that is 4-bar mechanism, first problem for relative velocity method.
Sir, this space diagram is given in question only, sir.
Yes, it will be given, question will be given.